What's up, guys? Doomwake here, and we are so back with another modern video, and this might be the most excited I've been for an intro for a YouTube video, and I can't even remember how long. As you can see by the title of the deck list and the card on your screen, we're back. Rhinos has been picking up in popularity over the past couple of weeks. There's been some results in challenges and leagues. I myself played a challenge with it, ended up going 5-2, lost playing for top 8, but a couple of 5-0s, maybe I think there's one top 8 in there somewhere. But yeah, we're back in the menu. And not really a lot has changed, but there is one card in this deck that is from Modern Horizons 3 that makes quite a big difference. Let's talk about what hasn't changed. 4 Crashing Footfalls, pretty self-explanatory. 8 Cascade spells, 4 Ardent Plea, and 4 Shardless Agent. I would play Violent Outburst if I was allowed to, but if I did, I'd probably get kicked out of the event. As far as the cheap interaction is concerned, 4 Fire Ice, this is still probably the gold standard. It's even a lot better now, where, obviously you still have the line of Ice your permanent on turn 2 to get a pseudo Time Walk, but Fire is probably better than it's ever been with the presence of Amped Raptor and Ocelot Pride. This thing very, very frequently will kill multiple things against Boros, which is fantastic. We're still respecting Ragavan because it is picking up a little bit more as of late in Boros with 3 copies of Dead Gone. And then you'll notice there's Leyline Binding, but no Leyline of the Guild Pact or Scion of Dracos. Where did those go? So, Scion of Draco and Leyline of the Guild Pact have sort of fallen out of favor in Modern, and I don't necessarily have a definitive answer as to why, but I think part of that might be the fact that Boros, which is one of the best decks in the format, is playing Static Prison, and that being a clean answer to Leyline Binding means that you can't really rely on that. And as far as Scion, it's still pretty good, but again, it's if you have Scion without the Leyline of the Guild Pact, you kind of have the same Static Prison problem, so I don't really know exactly why, but also there's not a lot of room. Now, past the cheap interaction, we have the less than cheap interaction in the form of 4 Force of Negation and 2 Subtlety. There is 2 copies of Dismember in the main deck and 2 Mystical Disputes. Now, if you are planning on playing an RCQ after August 26th, probably wouldn't recommend those cards because they're mostly here to combat Nadu. But, moving forward, maybe you could go the 4th copy of Dead Gone. Maybe that gets you some room to potentially play Scion plus Leyline. Not sure. But let's talk about the new card here in the Phlage, Titan of Fire's Fury. So Rhinos is exceptionally good at casting a Cascade spell on turn 3. It is not as good when your opponent can stop you from casting a Cascade spell on turn 3. It's very sort of one-dimensional in that regard. And Phlage kind of takes that, just completely blows the doors off of that logic and that level of thinking, because it is fantastic on the front half. It can kill sideboard cards like Draenith Magistrate when you're casting it from your hand, and then it just allows you to play effortlessly through counterspells. I played a game against a Jeskai opponent where I cast Phlage 3 times over 3 consecutive turns and burned through 2 counterspells, and they couldn't counter the third one, and they just died to it. It does kill people relatively quickly, and that's not even with the Arena of Glory, which we do have 1 copy of in the mana base. So it's just fantastic at providing you a very solid plan B. It's very good against the aggressive decks. It helps stabilize, which you don't really have a lot of ways to stabilize when you're playing a Cascade deck. It just kind of does everything. And you have enough cheap spells and or free spells, forces, subtleties, the 1-mana cards, Lórien Revealed the cycle, bunch of fetch lands, surveil lands. It's not that hard to get 5 cards in the graveyard. It's actually pretty trivial. So I think Phlage is absolutely fantastic and may single-handedly revive this entire archetype by itself. Now the mana base, that's a different part. So the one thing that you'll notice about the mana here is we have not a single fetchable land off of Lórien Revealed that produces green mana. It's kind of a problem when you're trying to cast Shardless Agent on turn 3. One thing that I've been considering is just playing 2 Triomes, which would be Xander's Lounge and Spara's Headquarters. I'll have to do some more experimenting with that and kind of messing with some of the numbers in the mana base. Simply, it's a little greedy to play a land that only taps for red in our, blue-white, blue-green domain card deck. Maybe. But that's a conversation for another day. As far as the sideboard is concerned, usual suspects here. Charmaw, very good against Tron. Endurance, very good against graveyard decks like Goryo's Vengeance. Teferi against Jeskai Control. Subtlety for Nadu. 1 Wear Tear for Artifacts and Enchantments. And 2 Inevitable Betrayals. Fantastic against Tron. And also Atraxa. So that is pretty much it for the main deck as far as new cards and things what we're trying out. Like I said, I am extremely excited that Rhinos is maybe back on the menu, and we'll have to see how the league goes. So I will see you back here in just a little bit for round number 1. Hand's perfect. Can't complain about that. Any chance Brain Surge is okay as a 1 or 2 of here, since Cascade lets you shuffle away? I don't want to play Brain Surge in this deck. Too expensive. Here's one issue that I found, and you can probably notice this very distinctively if you just take a look at the mana base. I'm actually not going to cycle Lórien. I'm going to play this on 1 tapped. The mana base is a little sketchy. The biggest issue for me, so there's 2 issues. 1, basic island plus Phlage, kind of awkward, came up a couple of times. And 2, which I think is a bigger issue, the mana base that we currently have does not let us Lórien for a green source. The problem is, can you afford to play Breeding Pool and Phlage in the same deck? I don't know. Something to keep in mind. I was wondering if there was a way that we could split the Triomes so that we could Lórien for the green Triome, but I think the only setup there would be either play 2 Triomes or Temur plus Godless Shrine, because Temur and Godless Shrine still cast Phlage, but I don't know if that's a good idea. I'm only playing 1 Triumph. I guess we could play 2. Shouldn't you just not play a basic island? Yeah, but then you're so bad against Blood Moon. And the Boros decks have Blood Moon main deck. Yeah, I mean, the answer is you could just lose to Blood Moon and not play basic lands, but a lot of the Boros decks have that card main deck now, so I don't want to be super cold to Blood Moon. How do we get Kappa Cannoneer into this deck? I mean, Shardless Agent is an artifact, I'm just saying. I think the easiest answer for how Lórien can get a green source is you'd have to play 2 Triomes. I don't know if there's any other way to do it. Why am I on a non-white Triome? Which Triome do you think would be better than Xander's Lounge? I mean, they're 12. Rogarin. Well, then if you have Rogarin Overgrown Tomb, you have the same issue of Overgrown Tomb not being able to cast Phlage. The reason that it's Xander's Temple is because both of those lands cast Phlage. Here's the issue. You can't afford to have a Triome Shock Split that one of those 2 lands does not cast Phlage. So you can't really have a red-white Triome. Why are we playing Boom Bust? We are not playing Boom Bust. Yeah, I mean, the answer could just be 2 Triomes, I guess. Indatha Steam Vents. Well, that doesn't solve the issue, right, of... Here's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out a Triome Shock Split that allows me to Lórien for a green source. That is what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know if that's possible. Because Lórien not being able to fetch a green source has been kind of awkward. There's still 4 cards in hand. I've not located a second Cascade spell. Can we run the new colorless fetches? Those only get basics. If those things got any land with any type, they'd be a lot better. Eagles of the North, so you can fetch Templar Plains for Moon. Yeah, Eagles doesn't pitch the Subtlety or Force, though. I guess we could play Solitude at that point. Graveyard. They don't have Bowmasters, do they? I sure hope not. I'm gonna get completely annihilated by Bowmasters. Yeah, people have played Solitude and Rhinos in the past. There's no way they have Bowmasters, right? There's no way they have Bowmasters here. It's just not possible. Surely you wouldn't cast Orcish Bowmasters. Force, that's fine. Oh, well, I'm just going to cast it again next turn. I'll run it back. You don't have to play all 5 types. I kind of disagree. I think part of the reason Binding is good in decks like this is the fact that it costs 1 mana. Like, you lose a lot of utility on Binding when it costs 2, when it always costs 2, versus when it costs 1 50% of the time. And by 50%, I mean more than 50, because you're going to be fetching the Triumph first. If you have 2 fetches, you're always going to get these 2 lands. Or, like, Lush Portico's loud. Like, Lush Portico on 1, Lounge on 2, you know? Why do you want a white Triumph so bad? What if you play Leyline Scion, then your mana's perfect? Oh, I meant to talk about that. So there is a distinct reason I do not have Leyline plus Scion in this deck, and it's because Boros is playing 4 Static Prison. And I think relying on Leyline is not the best idea when the most played deck in the format is playing 4 copies of Static Prison. So that's why I'm choosing to not play Leyline plus Scion. I don't know if that's like a good reason, but make them counter this. I know they're last card. Actually, they don't have counterspell. Okay. Well, they had a different type of counterspell. They had a counterspell, but pretty good versus Jeskai. It's not great against Ring, though, is the issue. Why didn't they cast the Murktide? I guess they know that I have Binding. How many copies of Supreme Verdict does Jeskai playing these days? Like, usually 1, I think. See, imagine drawing a Phlage here. Yeah, so it's usually 2 between main and side. I guess I should Surveil now in case I just Surveil the Phlage into the graveyard. Alright, well, this is like the exact situation where Phlage is just nuts. Trust the 1 of Binding to deal with Scion. Exactly 1 Binding. Shouldn't Jeskai be playing more Bindings because of how bad it is against opposing rings? Okay, we've located lethal. Question is, do I go for it now? No, I'm gonna wait until they tap. I mean, we know they have Murktide in hand. I'm just gonna wait, because the second they play Murktide, we can go Ice Hold Up Dispute for Counterspell. Okay. So presumably if I Binding, they get into a fight over this. They really don't want to cast that Murktide, huh? Alright. Or not. I'm going to hold. Because we could also draw Force of Negation to fight over the Fire Ice. Change Xander's to Rafine's. Still doesn't fix the issue of Lórien Revealed not being able to get green. I think that's like the only issue that I've had with the mana base is that exact thing. So I feel like Ketria Godless Shrine is maybe the best way to do that. But then the issue with Godless Shrine is it doesn't cast Shardless Agent, so I don't know. There's really not like an easy answer, you know. Alright, surely they fed over this, right? Play more non-blue fetches. We already have 10 fetches. You're just saying swap the fetches around. I wish I had 1 more mana. Am I going to get a better opportunity to cast Fire Ice? I mean, the better opportunity to cast Fire Ice is when they play Murktide, which we know they have in hand. Bidding Frog there is pretty wild. That is kind of weird. Why did they bin the Frog? I feel like that's one of their better draws. I'm so confused as to why they're not casting Murktide. Doesn't make any sense. They know Dismember. Yeah, their Murktide's an 8/8. Why do they care about Dismember? Dismember does nothing. Bidding Frog. Oh, sure. I thought you were using that as a reasoning for not casting the Murktide. Yeah. Okay. So let's go here. This should elicit a reaction from them. So I think this should be good. Alright, or not. Go, I guess? Probably a push. Maybe they just haven't had Counterspell the whole time. Maybe they'll cast Thoughtseize. Okay, push is fine. You take one hit. If they attack now, yes, I'm gonna take this. Especially because they cast the push pre-combat. Okay. Can't you fire them? Yes, but I'm playing around Counterspell. So, Ice the Shadow, they counter, I Dispute, then I Plea. Because I can tap them out. Simply just don't play around anything. Yeah. If you pretend that your opponent never has cards that matter, if you pretend they never have interaction, then they just never have it, you know? Isn't Fire better than tap? It's better against another Fatal Push, but I'm pretty sure if they had Push, they would have just main phased it, because they main phased the first one. So I don't think they had Push. I don't really care about this, though, because now I just get to slam this and attack with 3 next turn. Actually, wait, what if I attack? I should attack, right? Because I have a 7/7. How does this work? So I have a 7/7. -5, -5. They would have a 6/6. No, because then I'd have to assign 1 damage to them, right? 7/7, 6/6. So then their shadow wouldn't die. I guess I could just choose to not trample, right? Yeah, that's a good point. I could choose to not trample. We know they have a Murktide. So we go here, and then... Alright, yeah, assign all 7 to that. They're at 2. And then they have a Murktide in hand, but we still have 3 lethal threats. They need, like, Murktide plus 2 more answers. I think changing Lush to Sparus fixes it, otherwise you have to swap your Xanders to something else. Yeah, but then the issue there is, like, I kind of need... I'm not going to say need, but I kind of do feel like you should be playing 2 Surveil lands with Phlage. Like, the second Surveil land is so huge with Phlage. So it's like, the things that I'm trying to accomplish with the mana base are the 1 arena for Phlage, 2 Surveil lands for Phlage, but I also want Domain for Binding, and I want Lórien to find a green source. And I think I've accomplished all of those goals with the exception of Lórien being able to find green mana. That's the only thing. And really, it doesn't come up a ton game 1, because, like, you only have 1 green card realistically. But in post-board games, I found a lot of times against the blue-red decks, like, a frequent part of your post-board plan is hard-casting Endurance. It's a lot better if your Lórien can fetch a green source, because you want to be able to hardcast this in post-board games against, you know, Murktide adjacent decks. So it's like, what is the best way to balance that, you know? So they're playing Shadow. I don't know what's bad against them. Subtlety is not... I mean, Subtlety's good against Murktide, but it's not good against the card Death Shadow. I think I'm going to cut the Dead Gons, because if they're playing blue-black, they don't have Channeler or Ragavan, so their threats are very likely Goyf, Shadow, Murktide. Gone is good against Murktide, I guess, but we just don't play Subtlety, maybe. I don't know if I like Teferi on the draw against them, but go play the first copy. It's not that bad. Sparrows, Raucous. Black-red, huh? Playing a black-red land is kind of awkward. Black-red land, huh? What is the black-red land cast besides Phlage? Cast Fire on turn 2. I don't know. Could try it out. So which 2 lands would you cut then? You would cut the Xander's Lounge and the Portico. So then your 2 Surveil... No, because you want 1 white Surveil land and 1 red Surveil land. I guess you could just not have a blue Surveil land, and you could do Portico Raucous Theater. But then Lórien can't get a Surveil land, so that's, like, maybe another issue. Speaking of mana, what do we... how do we want to proceed with this? I think it's just Xander's Lounge. Steam Vents, white, black, green. Steam Vents, white, black, green is good, but it doesn't solve the issue of this finding green source. So, like, Steam Vents, white, black, green, I think is very, very similar to Grixis plus Temple Garden. Like, it's basically the same thing. But again, it's the same issue of we can't fetch green with this. And that's, like, an issue that has come up sometimes in post-board games. Same but worse. Yeah. You want to get a Triumph off Lórien? Yeah. Some of the times, yeah. I mean, if they took the first Fire Ice, I'm gonna ice them. Almost ice myself. Ice yourself now. Okay, not a great draw. Not the best. If the problem is only postboard, how valuable is blue-green land in the board? Sounds kind of weird, but I don't hate it. I'm gonna play Island so I can hardcast Force on my upkeep. I didn't actually think about that. I guess the downside is it takes up a sideboard slot, but like how relevant is the sideboard slot? Because game 1, it's almost never going to come up. Game 1, you will rarely ever need the second green. If you want to get a Triumph Lórien that can cast Phlage, and also a green source, you need to have a black Shockland, so we have a Ketria Godless. That's what we were talking about. I think Ketria Godless, if I'm trying to accomplish the goals, like if everything that I've said is true, and I want my mana base to do X, Y, and Z, I think that is the best way to accomplish that. We could try Ketria Godless, but like how awkward is Godless Shrine? It's pretty awkward. It's a binding. And we can play around them having Force. It's kind of awkward. I can't suspend and bind, but... You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I should have boarded up these against Shadow. These cards are awful against Thoughtseize decks. I'm just so used to keeping in Force Negation. Can't force that. Okay, I mean, I guess. There you go. Let's run it back, I guess. You wouldn't have another Psychic Frog, would you? Alright, they did in fact have the second Phlage. They have 2 cards in hand. Something tells me this Footfalls is not going to get the job done. I think I might tap the Frog for a turn. At least, like, buy some sort of reprieve from it. Ding, ding. Rosie Dog asks, why is my deck not playing Nadu? The card is both blue and green. Wait, did it get banned? Did I miss it? No, you didn't miss anything. See, here I'm going to be very upset if I draw Lórien Revealed. It'll be okay if I draw a fetch land, but Lórien would be extremely awkward. We dropped a league. Now, this is League 1. If only I had Violent Outburst. I don't think I can afford to not cast it. I think it's extremely likely they have a counterspell, but... Oh, they have Consign. Okay. Sure. Did you copy the top 32 list from one of the Chellies? I copied the top 32 list from this person named DOOM Waki. I don't know who that guy is. Yeah. I think it might be a fake. It might be an alias. I think the O's are zeros. Who would do that? Bro, stop. Stop drawing creatures that I can't kill. They're at 7. I'm at 13, huh? Alright. I have a plan. It's not a very good plan, but it is a plan. The plan is hope they don't draw another goddamn Death Shadow. I think I have to fight her with this. It kind of feels gross, but... Okay. Well, we've exhausted all their counterspells, I guess. This Consigned Ember counter Footfalls. Footfalls is green, but they can stifle the not so with Suspend there's 2 separate triggers on the very last counter. Suspend is the counter gets removed, and then it says when the last counter is removed, you may cast it. So when it has 1 counter, they let the suspend trigger resolve, and then that creates another trigger. They can stifle that trigger to keep it in exile, and then you don't get to cast it. How do I win? Probably by chump blocking. Keck indeed. You gotta wait till checks notes August 27th. Creamy McCrunch, thank you for the 4-month resub. Why is Footfalls green? Because it has the little color indicator on it, I think. It's hard to see on this one, but I think it does have the color indicator. Surely you didn't draw a counterspell, right? It does. Yeah, I think it's just, I think it doesn't show up on the special guest version. See, like, next to sorcery, it would have a color indicator, but there's, like, a little space next to sorcery. I guess I kill this. I don't even know if that's right. It buys me more time. They drew Consign? That's gross. So we got a 1 here. I don't think we have any outs. They've drawn pretty well, I would say. I'd say they've drawn above average. Like, playing a Rain this deck is too greedy. It's just too good with Phlage. I don't disagree that it is definitely a little greedy, but I think it's worth it in the long run. It's too good with Phlage, and it comes up so often. They have 5 non-basic lands in play. My opponent cast Harbinger of the Seas. You sure about that? You sure about that? Oh, that's good. Classic duck. Classic duck. All right, get these forces out of here. I forgot they were a shadow deck. Force is not very good. I guess we can do something like this, maybe? I still don't like Subtlety against them. I don't love this hand. But weirdly enough, I think turn 1 Footfalls is actually pretty good against these Thoughtseize decks. Question is how do we sequence fetches? It's probably Steam Vents Portico. No, because I need to get a green source. Stomping Ground? Yeah, I guess Stomping Ground, right? It's got to be Stomping Ground. Hope is kindled. Is it, though? I don't know if there's really much hope with the Duck Song. It's certainly something. Don't think I want that. It's not like the worst card to have here, but kind of want something else. Broge. I do. Can maybe just get Thundering Falls. If I draw Binding, I can still just go Thundering Falls Binding for 2 mana. Shardless. That's not bad. Okay, this is going to look weird. I'm going to respond to the Surveil trigger, because if they Force of Negation my Binding, it's going to change what I want to Surveil into, I think. Okay. I know it looks weird, but definitely don't want that. I mean, I was going to bin that either way, I guess, but... Have we tried Buried Alive Rhinos? What exactly does Buried Alive Rhinos mean? Bro, stop with the double frogs. I can't with all these frogs. Okay. Not great. Not great. Go. Rhinos plus Buried Alive for 2 Narco 2 Amalgams as an alternate Rhinos. Yeah, it's just not that good. Because the problem with putting Narcomoeba, Buried Alive, and Prized Amalgam into your deck is you just put so many bricks into your deck. Yeah, it hasn't been great. I think there's a good chance that they fight over this Rhinos, though, and maybe I can resolve Lórien. Hey! Got any grapes? Chat, got any grapes? Yeah, see, they would... Okay, they don't have Consign. Probably have Counterspell. Okay. Waddle waddle. Should get Plains. Because getting basic Plains is better against whatever it is, Harbinger. Okay, those are really good. Plains also notably very good against Harbinger because that lets us cast Plea and Teferi for that matter. I know you did Amped Raptor plus Rhinos, but have you thought about Noxious Revival as a way to stack 0 mana spells for Raptor? But how are we getting the 0 mana spells into the graveyard in the first place? I think I'm going to bait with Tef. Actually, I might actually bait with Ardent Plea, honestly. I think I'd rather resolve the Ardent Plea. Okay, we're effectively discarding the hand size. 7 cards in hand. I think I am baiting with Plea. Right, white, blue here. Yeah, let's bait with Ardent Plea. Yeah, I think Tef is a lot better than the Cascade spell here. Now, if they just have Counterspell plus Force, then, you know, they simply wanted it more. Running the stand. Please don't force me. Right. It's on 2. Well, that's unfortunate. Not a lot I can do about that. You forward FNM with the Hollow One list, by the way. Nice. Let's go. God damn, it's this always this fucking frog, man. Able to cast Harbinger. Schmirktide. I know, right? Imagine trying to resolve 6 mana worth of spells into my opponent's 2 open mana. I think this is another spot where I need to resolve Dead Gone, so I'm going to Shardless first. This is my last Footfalls, right? Because I have 1 suspended. Okay, last Footfalls. I know I could wait till their turn, but I think it's more important to play. They probably have Stub, but I think it's more important to play around like Counterspell, Force Negation, all that stuff. 6, 7, 8. So we're dead. Unfortunate. Opponent drew extremely well that match. Oh well. It happens. Alright, no more blue-black. Yeah, what a beautiful deck. You see, the reason that people have not been playing Crashing Footfalls is because the deck is just a little too good. It's just a little, just really fucking great, you know? Really good. Okay. What a great deck. Alright, well, we can just mulligan a league against 2 blue-black decks. Let's start over. Brody Man, thank you for the 11-month resub. Welcome back, Brody Man. Get those ads out of here. You don't want to see any ads. You know the 4th was the top card? Oh, yeah. Look, I just need to get out of blue-black hell. Give me Boros. Give me Nadu. Give me Tron. Give me anything but blue-black. It sure feels like it. I don't know why. Why is there so much blue-black? I mean, I want lands eventually, but I think at this current juncture, not right now. How was the Frog last match? GG. GG, Frog. Psychic Frog is good. I feel like we've all kind of done a 180 on Psychic Frog. If I recall correctly, it was one of the early cards spoiled. And I feel like a lot of people weren't necessarily talking about it when it first got spoiled. And I think we've kind of all come around to it at this point, you know? It's a really sick card. I guess I'd rather have the Shardless in play. Still think it's bad and will never accept. I mean, if people are playing it in Legacy, it's got to be good in Modern, right? There's got to be some sort of translation there. People sure do love their blue-red decks. Alright, Tank Counterspell. Rick, it is your turn. You may proceed. Your go, Rick. What do you got for me, Rick? Frog is extremely good. It's like the only card that I actively never want to play against these blue-black decks. Violent Outburst, where are you? I need you to come back home. Alright, green. No, I need white mana. White, blue, red. Why is my Moto lagging? Moto, not now. Not now, Moto. Let's unban Violent Outburst. That's what I'm saying. You have main deck Consign? What the shit is this? No, we're just floating mana. Okay. So I guess they have Drown. Okay, sure. Attack you for 3. Bang. What's up, Rick? Consider. Guess I'm okay with that. Okay, Murktide we don't care about because we have Binding. We can even Binding with Force backup, which is nice. Probably graveyard that. Just look for a threat. Cascade Spell, Phlage, anything like that. I was really hoping they would force. I wanted them to fight over that so bad. Shardless, you got this. You're going to need to do a lot of heavy lifting. I mean, Shardless clears, right? Under most circumstances. It doesn't clear Psychic Frog. Are we back? I hope we're back. I cannot confirm nor deny. I should have got a White Source. That was bad. Well, I don't think there's really a reason to hold it. They could have Stub, I guess, but I sure hope they don't. Okay, your turn. You can go, Rick. I could trade the Shardless Agent for 2 random cards in their hand. Is that good? No, I'd rather just, like, attack after they attack me. Trades for 1 card? No, it trades for 2. It's the Ardent Plea. I don't know if you know this, but Ardent Plea has flavor text. As somewhat important flavor text. Sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Will bans be made today? I don't know where this came from, and I don't know who started the discussion or where, like, the initial person that started talking about this, but for some reason, people were insistent starting last week that there were going to be ban announcements this week, but they never actually said anything regarding that, so I don't know where all that came from. So I think extremely likely at this point that they're not going to make an announcement until the scheduled one, which I believe is the end of August. I actually thought it was mid-August. Yeah, people keep saying that, but nobody ever sent me a clip. I couldn't find anything. I went back and watched the stream. I went back and watched the weekly MTG stream, and I couldn't find anything where Blake mentioned that. So if you have a link to where he said those words exactly, I would love to take a look, but I couldn't find anything. BNR is just a week away. Yeah, it's a week away every single day. If it's like a mindset, you know. You wake up in the morning and you're like, well, Only got one more week, guys. You know, just a week away. One more week of this. Next week, one more week of this. I would like to draw a spell. Would really like to draw a spell at some point. Would love to draw a spell. Should play my island pre-combat in case they have, like, push plus counterspell. I do certainly have 2 spells in hand. Alright. 1 push down. Hold. They go to 5. Do we win this race? No, I think we lose the race. Investing in the Shuko market? It wouldn't even be that good of an idea. Shuko already tanked. Like, 2 weeks ago, Shuko was $25 to $30, and it's back down to 15 already. So it wouldn't even be that good of an investment. Could have discarded 5 cards in one. They don't know that they don't know that we didn't have anything, right? But they could have done it, yes. If they assume we have nothing, then yes, they could have done that. Bro, stop with the frogs. That's true, but they're not going to do that. It's just not. It's not possible, right? There's no possible way. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm just dead on board. There's no possible way they don't ban it, right? Like, come on. I'm literally just dead on board. Why am I playing this game? I just want to win this one fight, all right? I'm going to concede after I win the fight. All right, game over. You may have won the battle, but I have won the war, or something like that. All right. So, Frog. Force out, Endurance in, Subtlety out, Teferi in, Submit. I don't think I'm supposed to keep in Subtlety against Frog. Dead Gone is much better, because you can bounce the Frog after they go all in on it. So I think Dead Gone's just a lot better than Subtlety. Nah, you always have to hit Footfalls in this matchup. You can't afford to hit Betrayal. It's just, like, what are you going to take there, Frog? It's not that good. You have the slime deck list. It's the one from the top 16 or top 32 of the challenge. I think it was top 16. Might have been top 32, though. How do I sequence these lands? Probably this first. I don't think I want that. Yeah, I feel like this matchup would be a lot easier if we just drew some Phlages, but we've never seen a single Phlage in any of these games. It certainly would change the texture of the matchup, 100%. So this gets Temple Garden, I think. It's not on screen, but if you scroll down on the channel page, Funky Mo, it should be there. I'll show you where it is. No, now we're listening to me as I'm streaming. Temple Garden. I'll show you in a second. If you can't find it. Alright, do you think they have Spell Pierce? I guess we can play Teferi first. Trying to think of what land I should fetch here. Kind of wanted to save this for a Surveil land, so let's actually just play Arena. And I want to try and slam Tef first. Bro, I made blue. What are you talking about? Blue, white, red. It just resolved? Okay, well, you lose. That was easy. Didn't expect it to, but there we go. Yeah, I was very upset that New York lost to Texas yesterday. I wanted New York to win so bad. If anybody in chat watches COD, I'm a big Hydra fan. Anything from Bloomborough stand out for me in Pioneer? I have a YouTube video that should be going out this week that discusses what I believe are the top 10 cards from Bloomborough for Pioneer, so be on the lookout for that. Plus, go. We're chilling. We are big chillin'. Preordain. Yeah, more Cascade. It's so hard to lose against these decks when you resolve Teferi. We could play, maybe what we should consider doing is cutting the disputes in the main for main deck Teferis. I could, like, maybe see that. That wouldn't be the worst idea. Sure. That is a losing battle. I don't need double blue, do I? Well, no, I need... There's no land I can get that lets me go Shardless and Binding, right? Because I need black. So maybe I should just get Portico and try to find another fetch land. Try that. I don't really want that. I don't think I want that. I mean, this would be a good spot for a Goblin Shrine, right? Okay, it didn't matter. We drew a fetch land. So let's go here. Plus you. I'm just gonna do this now so I can attack with the Rhino. I should have attacked first. Because if I attack first, there's maybe a chance they block and then discard a bunch of cards. What? Oh, because they have Murktide? Is that what that means? I mean, I could just bounce their Murktide. There's no other discernible reason that they would do that, right? Has to be Murktide. I could have gave the Shardless Agent haste, right? Oh no, because I can't cast off double red. Never mind. You should be able to hear me out, alright? If you Arena of Glory and you use the red mana to cast Shardless, your Rhino token should also have haste. Just saying. Just saying. And there's really no reason to haste the agent there, but... Bowmaster. Alright, so fire these two, bounce Murktide, they scoop. Hey chat, maybe I should cast Lórien Revealed. I mean, drawing 3 cards is nice, right? Alright, we can go to the next game now. Yep. Okay, I've located the plan against blue-black. Resolve Teferi, and they lose. Teferi is something else. We're willing to compromise, and you can Arena haste the Rhinos if there's a Thalia in play. Oh, because you have to use the red mana to play the Footfalls. Okay, that's a good trade-off. I'm down. Oh, Phlage located. This hand's good, right? We can get Hallowed Fountain off this. So it's turn 1 here, turn... Yeah, I mean, this hand's good, I think. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why they kept in Bowmasters. They think that I'm just, I'm always going to cast my my Lóriens, which, to be fair, post-board against a black deck, I would expect him to board out Bowmasters, so I would be the one who doesn't play around Bowmasters. Fleecemane, thank you for the 10-month resub. Can we get some Doom Thors in the chat? It's not the worst draw. Not the worst, not the best. Suspend. Suspend. Sus. Well, that makes things awkward, doesn't it? Oh, that makes things really awkward. I guess I'm just content playing Drago for a little bit. But I really hope they don't cast Frog this turn. Although I think if they had Frog, there's a good chance they would have just cast it on turn 2. Because, like, they're not really worried about me resolving anything on turn 2, right? So, I think if they had it, they definitely would have cast it last turn. Yeah, like this. I might even just Endurance them here. I think I will. Do I care about them playing a 5/5 Murktide? Worst case scenario, what's this on? This is on 2. So worst case, they go untap land, Murktide, I dispute, they counter. It's not even that bad. I'm not going to main phase the Endurance. Because it's even worse if I upkeep hardcast Endurance, they go counterspell, 4th land Murktide, they have a bigger Murktide. So I think it's just better to do it this way. If they don't cast anything, then I will play the Endurance. Betrayal such a meme. I think you need it against Tron. And honestly, more specifically, like, more so than Tron, I think it's more important against the Goryo's decks. I played against Goryo's in the challenge, and I just stole their Atraxa. I stole their Atraxa and put an Endurance and a Force of Negation in my hand, and I was like, oh, okay, well, you know. I mean, I guess, if you insist. Do we play around Spell Pierce? I think so. I feel like I can afford to, right? Because I think there's a good chance they don't even cast Murktide this turn. Although, maybe tapping out for Phlage is bad there. I could have just done nothing. It looks weird to keep that, but I kind of want it. It's more cards in the graveyard for Phlage. It can also get another Surveil land. 1 minute until we know if Bird will still be the word. Why do people think we're going to get a ban announcement in a minute? It's 3 o'clock. Like, that's just not going to happen, you know? Yeah, what do you mean 1 minute? where are you getting this information from? Who is telling you 1 minute? It's not Spike, is it? We're going to have a conversation. See if they fight over this. It might not. Yeah, they just don't. And they're at 14. I guess we could just slam more Rhinos, right? Arid Mesa, Shardless. If they counterspell, we fetch shock for Steam Ben's Dispute. We go to 15, and even at 15, the Murktide's still only a 2-turn clock. And we still have Fire Race to tap it down for a turn. I'm kind of in. Green, blue, white. I like this. I don't love fetch shocking with the Murktide in play, but it doesn't drastically change the clock. Oh. Well, the nice thing about this is they didn't replicate it. I think I fight. Although this might just mean they have Spell Pierce. Fatal Push I'm also fine with. Yeah, okay. You have 1 minute to vote what will happen in the next 2 minutes. What does that even mean? Will Bird get got in the next 2 minutes? What? Why is that even a prediction? Who would ever vote yes on that? If you vote yes, you're asking for your channel points to be put into an offshore account. That's on you. Chat seems to think it will happen. Yeah, one specific person. Like, you're just getting one guide. This is the definition of one guy. Wait, did I die? No. They're attacking me for 8? Well, that's a lot. They are not attacking. Huh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. What do I lead with? So my plan is to cast Phlage plus Ice on Murktide. White, red, red. I guess we Phlage first. I mean, they're countering the Phlage no matter what. I should keep a Footfalls in here. Actually, I should keep both Footfalls, just in case I want to Endurance them back in. So here's what happens. They counter the Phlage, and then I ice the Murktide and send the team. Is that what happens? But then do I die next turn? Wow, they don't counter the Phlage. Does that mean they just have a counterspell? What's up, Psycho? I think I go upstairs, right? I could have targeted the Frog, but they just discard 1 card to keep it alive. Gaining 3 is kind of huge, too. Could be Pierce. I think if they had Consign, they would have consigned the Phlage trigger, right? Ice on their turn. I mean, if I do it now, it's a lot better if they don't have a counterspell. It's kind of close. So if I ice, let's say they do have a counterspell, right? If I ice and they have a counterspell, it's still fine, right? I can still just send all 3 Rhinos. They don't have a good block here, because they'll only have 1 card left in hand. They can only make this a 3/4, so that basically trade a 1 Rhino for 8 damage with them at 3 and having a Phlage in play. Like, they're still kind of just dead, right? Yeah, I just don't really care. Oh, they couldn't drown the Phlage. Well, it's really good I didn't cast the, It's really good I didn't cast the Fire Ice first, huh? Because I did think about casting the Ice first. And they probably would have just let that resolve and then counter the Phlage. I don't know what else they have here, though. Can they somehow chain cantrips to kill me with Frog Murktide? Maybe. Okay, that's not going to do it. This is 11 right now. They need to find... I guess they only need to find 3 more spells, right? Or 2 more spells. This actually isn't that difficult for them to kill me if they can, like, consider. Okay, well, that's not good enough. This is 13. Was there meant to be a ban list or something today? For some reason, I don't know why, people just got it in their head last week regarding something Blake said last week. I don't know exactly what Blake said, but there was something that chat was insistent that, not chat, but a lot of people were insistent there was going to be a ban list announcement today, and I don't really know where they found that. I don't know where they got that impression. Sure. Sounds good. Can't keep getting baited. I know, it's just, they know how to get me. It's not that hard. It's pretty easy, actually. Ancient Stirrings. Wait, they made a secret layer Stormgrow? It appears that 9th edition was the last one, so it's been a while. Apparently there is a secret layer version of Stormcrow. I didn't know that. Streamer, click on my link. Shut up. What they reveal? They revealed Lantern of Insight.
Bruh.
Okay, well. I hope you don't have any plans for the rest of today. I have no idea if that's good. I'm gonna assume it is. Sure. Yeah, I guess we do need Burge. I guess we need Burge leave for when Nadu inevitably gets banned. It's gonna be an important day. The Lantussi of Insussi. Yeah, I don't know about that one. That one I'm not sure about. Yeah, where's Tivy? Tivy, where are you at? It's funny that I top that. They don't know that I have another Cascade spell. I think I need to save Binding for their Inevitable Bridge. But I am going to, I am going to ice them. Ice the Codex Shredder? No. I'm just going to ice one of their lands. Maybe their green source. This at least cuts them off bridge for a turn. You want this me, but with Rhinos on it, and 1 extra panel at the end showing Rhinos getting banned. Showing Rhinos getting banned? I mean, Violent Outburst, right? They'll never take, like, here, you know, oh, they have Thoughtseize? That's not good. You could take the Violent Outburst out of the player, but you can never take the player out of the Violent Outburst. Something like that. Alright. They did in fact decide to take the card that made the most sense. Jocker. Vexing and Consign. Yeah, that is kind of funny. It almost feels like they put a bunch of cards into Modern Horizons 3 that were like very, very direct and obvious plants. I'm gonna get this land for like, because they realized that maybe Rhinos was gonna be too strong. And then it was like, yeah, well, by the time we have the set out, it's already a little too late. We can't remove these cards from the file, you know? They beat Phlage, though. I'm pretty sure they play Surgical. It was already after the RCQ. The Violent Outburst ban? Yeah, it was right. It was after the RCQ season, right? I want to do a YouTube video on the Modern ban list. And like we can maybe rehash discussions on what cards could come off, could come off or should stay on. I plan to do something like that in the next like week or two. I wanna just take a deep look at the list because there's definitely some things that could come off. I think you're so happy that I'm in prison right now. I legitimately feel like I'm in prison. Yeah. The problem with playing against Lantern is it's gonna take so long for me. I know I'm gonna lose the game, but it's gonna take so long. You know. I guess that's just more time to talk to Chad, you know? Maybe they'll forget the one in the graveyard. Damn it. Binding the Lantern? No, I think we know they have a second Lantern in hand. I mean, they might just do that anyways, Talos. At the pace they're playing. Yeah, they had second Lantern. I think that I think they chose not to discuss Nadu on the podcast. I did listen to that podcast, by the way, and I think they specifically chose not to discuss it because they assumed it was a foregone conclusion. Like, there's no reason to talk about it when we all know what's going to happen, right? Like, why even waste your breath on that? Stoneforge and Jace getting unbanned before Punishing Fire? Yeah, I don't really understand why Punishing Fire is on the ban list. Same with GTA. I think GTA would, like, I'm not going to say it would be actively bad. Hot take, I think GTA would be, like, you're going to think this might sound crazy, but I think GTA would be, like, a good counter to Boros. Because that GTA would be really good against Boros. But I don't think it would be overpowered, you know? 1, 2, 3, 4. GTA with Ocelot Bride. I guess GTA would be good in the Boros deck, right? Yeah, it would have been better. Yeah, I agree. It would have been better in the much more like slower interactive MH2 meta. But with it feels like with MH3, with the focus shifting a lot more towards combo decks, it does kind of feel like GTA would not really be that good. Why are they... What? Why would they shredder that? I was going to graveyard it anyways. Okay, I don't want that, but... Surgical win con. Yeah, but they know we have Force. I might even keep that second Force, but if I keep second Force, I don't know what my plan is. If you have a stash of copies of P-Fire, how much do you think it will, like, it isn't uncommon. I wonder how much it would go up. Ass Trophy. You're gonna think I'm crazy, I kinda want this Force. I don't know if that's a good idea, but... I may have to start killing their Shredders at some point. Sure. Okay, they have to mill that. They only have 1 mana. Do I know what their last card is? Oh, it's Bridge, right? I might dispute this. And then I think there's a good chance that... Oh, they can't even cast the Bridge. They only have 2 mana. So their last card's Bridge, and they're drawing Trophy. I could Binding a Shredder. I don't know that I need to, though. Maybe I should. Like, what am I holding Binding for? I don't care about the Bridge. I have 2 Forces in hand. You know? They may mill the Trophy. Yeah, I guess I'll wait till their upkeep. Okay, they're milling the Lórien. Okay, I don't want a 3rd Force. I will shuffle that away. Yeah, I'm just gonna get the Shredder. Interesting they're keeping the Trophy, though. I feel like they should graveyard that. Isn't this actively bad for them? Maybe they just don't know they can Shredder themselves. They may not know. I mean, it's still going to be tough, though, because we have to find multiple threats in a row. I mean, I guess we do this. I don't really know what my plan is. Okay, they probably mill that. I should have kept the Xander's Lounge in my deck, I think. Because drawing a Cycle Land would be nice. Wow. Interesting. Very, very surprising they didn't mill that Binding. I'm just going to get all their Shredders. Do I have any Bindings left? 1, 2, 3. I have 1 Binding left. Okay, so they draw the land. So we know their hand is Catacombs, Trophy, Bridge. Another Shredder is kind of annoying. But I guess it doesn't matter because we just have a pile of Forces. So we can counter their next 3 spells. Let go. How many Footfalls do I have left? I have 3 Footfalls. I actually wouldn't mind drawing a Footfalls, because suspending it could be okay. Like, I think I have time to suspend it. Yeah, they're not even going to play into the Forces. I mean, what's their plan, though? They're going to have to play into them eventually, right? No, I don't have any updates to that deck. I'm not exactly sure what I would want to change about it. All right, I'm going to hold. I'm just going to keep holding for now, because they're not going to mill the Dismember. Okay, they drew Tomb. Cross, thank you for the bits. I'm going to hold the Ice. Like, basically, we're going to get to a spot where eventually there will be a threat on top, and when they go to mill it, I will respond and cast Ice. And that'll at least get one of the Lanterns out of play. It's like, once you get to spots like this, you just have to be patient. Okay, threat located. So they mill, I ice, they pop lantern, so that at least trades for one of the lanterns, which is nice. I guess I'll just tap this. I want to tap something they can't sacrifice. So they should pop the lantern here, I think. I mean, they have to, right? They can't let me draw the Shardless. They have Thoughtseize. I lost track of what's in their hand. I know they have Trophy plus... They have Trophy, Bridge, Shredder in their hand. Is their last card Thoughtseize? Damn it. It's Thoughtseize, okay. We still know they have one Lantern too, right? So their hand is Thoughtseize, Bridge, Lantern, Trophy. Or not Lantern, Codex Shredder. Thoughtseize, Bridge, Codex Shredder, Trophy. You don't like Ruins in current Lantern? Yeah, Ruins is kind of weird. How much is the Vault to activate? It's 3, right? Why are they not casting Thoughtseize? So this is nice, because now if they play Bridge, I force Pitch, and if they Thoughtseize... What are they doing? Sure. No. I guess I still should have shuffled there, because it makes them use the Shredder. Would have also let me hardcast Force against the Thoughtseize. But it's like countering Thoughtseize is the same thing as letting it resolve, right? That's good. So now they have to pop the Lantern, right? That's a huge hit, by the way. That plea is so good. Infernal Tutor? What the hell? Oh, they can Gardens copy the Lantern and then sack the other Lantern. Okay, I gotcha. Cool. Yeah. It's okay. I will simply just ice into another Cascade spell. Okay, so do this. I don't think my life total matters that much. Hey! So now we go white, blue, green, blue, red, and we still have hardcast Force up. What's nice about this is we can let the Thoughtseize resolve because we have 2 forces. They have a second bridge, but I don't think they have time to get to the second bridge. Right, because we know their hand is... What was it? Thoughtseize? I forgot already. Thoughtseize, Bridge... What was their last card? It was the one they just drew, right? Thoughtseize, Bridge something. Oh, Infernal Tutor, right. Okay. What, can they tutor for anything relevant? I doubt it. Forgot about the Infernal Tutor. They've also not left themselves the opportunity to cast Infernal Tutor. So yeah, Thoughtseize plus Tutor. They're dead. Wow, did not think I was going to win this game. I mean, I don't think they played it the best, but... Okay. We do not have any... No Force of Vigors, which is kind of awkward, but we have this. I think Teferi is good. Subtlety is not good. They probably have enough for Charmaw, right? I agree. I think if my opponent played that properly, I think I probably would have lost that game. So Dismembers go, Disputes go, Dead Gones go. I guess we might as well just do this, right? Endurance just being more threats is kind of nice. Unless you want to bring in the Teferis over, like, 2 of the Charmaws. 2 Tefs over 2 Endurance. Yeah, I could buy that too. Tef is probably a lot better against them. Big Tef, like, bouncing Saga tokens is nice. How real is this deck? I think it's very real. I mean, I played it in the challenge on Saturday, ended up going 5-2, punted pretty bad in one of my losses. I think that the Boros matchup, the more that I played, it's like, I think the Boros matchup is close, but I mean, I don't know, just Phlage really offers this deck a whole different angle of attack. Like, allowing you to, Phlage just lets you play so much deeper into the game, and it's something that this deck could not do before. Which is why I think Phlage is such a huge upgrade for this deck. I'm thinking about keeping this hand. Like, opening hand Footfalls is probably my single best card against them. I know it looks like a sus keep, but I think it's good. It's a little sus, right? A little sus. If I considered Rough Tumble for which matchup? Boros? See Surgical on Footfalls? I mean, that would be bad, for sure. Rough Tumble for Boros might not be that bad. What'd you miss last week? You missed the Doomwake X Dingo collab stream for MTGO Masters. That was pretty fun. Not a whole lot else, though. Last week was mostly... You missed Nadu not getting banned. Just don't surgical me, bro. Don't do it. See, the problem with winning game one is now I'm priced into playing it out because I'm likely just going to time them out. So, like, it's cool that I won game one, but now we're going to be here for a while, you know? I guess I should just get Surveillance. That is getting banned next week, guys. At this point, it's likely going to wait until the whatever the next scheduled one is, which I believe is, what, 2 weeks after Bloomberg release? Yeah, we could cycle Lounge. Ooh. I was gonna fetch for that one. Inquisition. That doesn't work. They're probably like, why game bug? Opponent's card costs 2 mana. Why can't I take 2 mana card? Why game bug? Why game bug? You bought some Nadu in paper for under $2 for Nostalgia Stake. I mean, isn't it, like, completely busted in Commander? It's probably not even that bad of a buy. Alright, I'm gonna need some spells here, please. Yeah, it seems insane in Commander now. See, again, the really unfortunate part about this match is I think I'm 100% to win the match, but it's just gonna take a long time. Also, like, really have to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna go real quick. I'll be right back. What did I miss? Not a lot. Maybe like a wear tear. Do I keep that? Probably, right? They want to pop the Lantern? They probably do, right? Because they have second Lantern here. Okay. So we know they have second... Oh. Was that a good top deck? I mean, you know, it wasn't bad. I'll take it. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Had second Lantern. Yeah, I know they have second Lantern. Good thing I burned these Charmaws. And they don't have a land. I mean, I could let you borrow one. If you ask nicely, JSL Goro, I will let you borrow a land. I'm such a nice guy, you know. I'm gonna save my fetch lands for when they eventually, like, set the loop up again. I know, right? It's almost like, if they knew that I was gonna shuffle into a Charmaw, you would think that they would have just let me have the Rhinos at that point. Quit swinging. Thank you for the 5-month resub. Welcome back. Appreciate the sub. For one turn, you can have the Allen for the rest of the game. I don't care. I'll let him have it. Okay. Ooh. You want to let me keep that one? Well, they have to, right? Because I can just cycle this. I don't know what they're naming. I guess they could name Xander's Lounge, right? They do know that I have Xander's Lounge. I guess I kind of have to be okay with that. I could have cycled in response to maybe force the Lantern pop. Word. Unforge. Look, they tried, okay? They tried their best, alright? Lisan Al-Gaib. I get it now. It's all starting to make sense now. I mean, they could, like, just Saga for a piece of Graveyard Hate, right? No, because I can flash it back before they get to Chapter 3. And just let me draw the Phlage, huh? Maybe they have the Graveyard Hate in hand. Yeah, I'm gonna ice their Saga upkeep. Question is, do I fetch? Do I have a fetchable left? Temple Garden, Hallowed Fountain. I don't think I have a basic Plains, right? Yeah, I have basic Plains. Because I'd like to not draw the Flooded Strand. So we go cast this. And then we go upkeep, ice the Saga. So they go to 4, ice the Saga next turn. I mean, the Charmaw's lethal by itself next turn, but we can also escape the Phlage. Could you play in Escape the Titan with this mana base in the same turn? So you would need, what, triple white, triple red? Zoo can't really beat Nadu. Well, I think what they're saying is that Leyline Scion in Rhinos. Because Leyline Scion goes into a bunch of different decks, but I think that part of the reason why people have moved away from Leyline Scion is the ubiquity of Static Prison. Modern will rotate soon when they ban Nadu and Grief. What makes you think they're going to ban Nadu and Grief? Look, I mean, we can discuss all we want about whether or not we want them to ban Grief in the One Ring and all that stuff, but the reality of the fact is they're only going to ban Nadu. Nothing else is going to get banned in August. As much as I want other cards to go along with it, I think that we kind of have to be a little, we have to be real with each other, you know? We can do this. I know, I don't want to say it. It pains me to say it, but, you know, it is what it is. I'd be disappointed if they banned Grief at this point and not when it was at its height of power and popularity. Well, I think the worry, and I think myself included, the reason I think that maybe, you know, we could at least have a conversation about Grief later on is the worry. I'm going to get basic Plains here. The worry is that if they ban Nadu, then the Grief decks become way too strong. And I don't necessarily disagree with that sentiment, but also the Tron decks get a lot better too, so it's like, you want to know if you should get Griefs for Atraxa? I mean, again, I've been wrong before, obviously, but I would be surprised if they ban Grief with this upcoming announcement. I would be very surprised. I guess I'm going to ice their Watery Grave in case they have Drown. Your rings are safe, people. Yeah, the rings that I sold. Spell Snare my eyes, huh? So they obviously have Drown, right? I mean, I'm just gonna play into it. It's like, if I wait and draw to their Cascade spell, it's so much worse. I know that this is 100% not resolving, but, you know, I think it's fine. What about the Sundial? Dude, the Sundial's gas. Yeah. I know. It's okay, we resolved the most important part of this card. Ardent Plea secured. That's one free Exalted trigger. I don't know if you know that, but we have secured the Ardent Plea. +1 Exalted. Yeah, the Sundial deck was sick. I was a big fan of that. Oh, you're saying I can't play the Sundial deck without Rings and Paper, yeah. I mean, I don't know, it was weird. Like, I bought Rings when the set first came out. I bought the bundle versions because they were like $35. And I was even, at the time, I was upset that I was paying $35 for them. Little did I know, obviously. But I just, like, they sat in my binder for 6 months. I never played with them. I was like, well, I mean, I guess, you know, I'm not using them. Might as well get rid of them. Because I was worried that they would eventually, I was worried they would get banned at that time, and that I was going to lose money on them. You know what's insane to me about it too is they reprinted it. Now, granted, the reprinting wasn't like I don't know what the drop rates were on the poster version, whatever they want to call it, but they reprinted it and it's still like $120. Like, what the hell, dude? They're very rare. Like, how hard? I don't know. Did they say the drop rates for that specific version? If I didn't want to buy Phlage but wanted to play Rhinos, what should I add? That's a tough question to answer. You might just be better off playing a different deck. It was a collector booster only product. Oh, I see. How much is Phlage right now? When I purchased mine, they were... How much were they? I think I got mine for like 25-ish? Something like that. I don't know if they've gone up since then, but that's about what I bought mine for. You wouldn't you wouldn't cast an Orcish Bowmaster, would you? You wouldn't do that. Okay. That's fine. I accept. No, my Phlages are mismatched. I have 1 borderless and 3 regular. Oh, how much are Ocelot Prides? Are they still worth more than... Are they still worth, like, a mortgage? Yeah, they went down a little bit. They were like 60 last week. Opponent has 2 cards in hand, huh? Okay, I'm gonna pass. I think I'm gonna Binding the Channeler in their upkeep. The reason I'm not playing a Cascade spell this turn is because I want to try and force through 2 next turn. I think I can afford to wait 1 more turn. Maybe I'm just stupid, but... Alright, I'll just do it now then. Though I guess doing it now is worse if they have a counterspell in hand right now. Yeah, I should have waited. I got impatient. There's a guy online who is offering their 1 ring in a return for a Lamborghini amount of money. One of the serialized ones. How many of the serialized ones are there? Was there 100? No, not the one of 1 ring. There's a different version of it that they came out with, but that's also serialized, but it's not a 1 of 1. It's I guess a 1 of 100. You can get a water damaged Lamborghini from a police station. How much would a water damaged serialized 1 ring cost you? I'm just gonna pass. I don't know why, but I'm just gonna keep waiting. This might be stupid. No, I think it's like a separate... I think it's separate from that 4 dogs. I don't think it's the same thing. Serial number. Jesus Christ. Wait, seriously? It's a 9.5 Gem Mint, huh? Beckett 9.5, my brother in Christ. That's a lot of money. I don't know if you guys know that, but that is a shit ton of money. Alright. Dead. I cast dead. Well. If that's the case, now we'll ice. I just want to cycle and Final Land so I can cast 2 Cascade spells. That works. It's good enough for me. Let's cast the first one. No, don't tap the white. Let's go here, and then red this green. I think there's a good chance I'm gonna just fight over with Dispute anyways, and just save the Ardent Plea for next turn, I think. I guess they could have 2 counter spells. Like, their hand could be Drown plus Pierce, maybe. 9ball, thank you for the 4-month resub. Chat, funny story about me and about 9ball and I. We played at FNM last week. I was 2-1. 9ball was 1-2. I got paired down. I beat him, right? We played it out. I beat him. And our FNM cuts to top 8. So I was like, okay, well, my breakers are good enough. I think I'm a lock to top 8, even if I take the L. So I conceded to him. I got 8th and he got 9th. I tried, all right? I tried. I did my best. But, like, you know, I tried to scoop him into top 8, you know? I knew I was locked anyways. I did the best I could. But it wasn't good enough. In the end, it was not good enough. Yes, we have very long FNMs. That is accurate. I usually leave at like 11:30 or midnight. It's about the average time that I leave FNM. See, the thing is, we have top 8, but we never play out top 8. We always just chop the credit. It's always 4-round cut to top 8, but we never play it out. It's a pretty good draw step. I don't think it's good enough, but it is pretty good. Gone it back to your hand. Unfortunately, Gone returns target creature you don't control. And at the time of the Unholy Heat casting, I did control the Shardless Agent. See, maybe that's why I win at FNM, because at FNM, I do Gone my own Shardless Agent. Just don't tell the LGS owner, because then I'll never come back. Slim. Harvey Toadface, thank you for the 4-month resub. Appreciate that, Harvey. Chad, if you did not know, I have the sub goal that is currently in place, which you should be able to see if you scroll down a little bit. The current sub goal is, if we hit the sub goal, I will play a League of Slime Against Humanity. That is what the goal is for. Oh wait, I could have given my Shardless Haste. Probably should have done that, right? Yeah, I didn't think about that. I should have given the Shardless Haste, but then won. And that way they couldn't fetch. Yeah, because if I had given the Shardless Haste, they couldn't fetch to counter the Crashing Footfalls, because they would just die to the Shardless. I mean, they're dead anyway, so it doesn't matter, but... What do you got? Alright, well... They've drawn 3 expressive iterations off the top. Again, I don't think it's good enough this game. But it is pretty good. Death Shadow, huh? Alright, Death Shadow resolves. They could play 3 Death Shadows and still be dead on board. Yep, still dead on board. What are we thinking? Alright, I'm gonna try my best to spike the Phlage. Not that I need it, but I want it, okay? Just give me this one thing, okay? Please? Please? Never lucky. Unreal. Unreal. Never ever lucky. Alright, game 2, Grixis Shadow. And Beckett says, I read the title and thought you were going to play Siege Rhinos and Pioneer. One of these days. One of these days. Is it just this? What is this? This is... I'm playing a Jeskai deck. We'll draw land, I believe. Once Upon a Time... When Once Upon a Time was legal in Pioneer, it was effectively just Pioneer's version of the One Ring. Like, you could just put it into any deck. It made every deck better, you know? Okay, I found the fetch land. That's good. It's Lush Portico, I think. Can we talk about Pioneer for a second? And is it just me, or are they just completely ignoring the format? Do they just not care about it anymore? It doesn't seem like they're that willing to make any sort of changes to it. And I don't really know what's going on. I can't figure it out. Because I think Pioneer, is a format, has a lot of potential. But I don't know if they're just not willing to do the things they need to do to keep it in check, you know? Yeah, Modern definitely has priority. What am I doing here? I think I'm icing a Bluesaurus. There's nothing wrong with current Pioneer. I don't disagree with you. So here's the weird part about Pioneer for me, is that I don't think that the format as it currently stands is horrendous. There's a decent amount of churn, not as much churn, but there's a decent amount of like metagame diversity in terms of like Vampires, Amalia, Phoenix, Mono Green. Those are like the 4 most played decks. The problem is that you don't really ever see a deck that is not one of those 4 do exceptionally well, other than like randomly spiking a tournament. It's like the metagame is so centered around those 4 decks, and some people enjoy that. Some people really do like focused metagames where they're much easier, they're much more able to adapt and like very specifically target certain archetypes. But like, it's just kind of stale, you know? It's just a little stale is my problem. Again, some people like that, right? Yeah, but you and I both know challenges are noise. Leyline the Guild Pact produces some memory jar adjacent games. Yeah. Yeah, Guild Pact is kind of fucked up in green. Plug your prowess in the chat. I'll take a look, Berkeley. So here's my proposal. Why are you countering this? Here's my proposal, okay? So we're kind of in agreement that I don't think that Pioneer is a completely horrendous format, but I think the issue specifically stems from like just it's just a little stale, right? We can agree on that, I think. What I would like to see is I would like to see some power level hits. Not necessarily like, okay, if Phoenix is the best deck, ban Phoenix. No, I'm not suggesting that. Or like Amalia is the best deck, ban Amalia. Maybe I'm not suggesting that. But what I think would be nice is if we just had some, like, just reduce the consistency of these decks just by a little bit, you know? Like, should maybe Picklock Prankster get banned? And I know that sounds crazy to, like, ban Picklock Prankster, ban Court of Calling. But I think that if you make these decks less consistent and less overall powerful at what they're doing, I think it really opens up space for a lot of, like, maybe other niche decks to kind of fill that void a little bit, and I think it would expand the metagame quite a bit. Yeah, that's true. They did ban iteration. So, like, I think my suggested or, like, my proposed ban list would be Picklock Prankster, Court of Calling. Vampires is tough because it doesn't, like, maybe Blood Tithe Harvester. Is that wild? And then I think Leyline's a good ban too. Leyline, Blood Tithe Harvester, Picklock, Prankster, and Court of Calling. I think those would be like 4 reasonable bans. Yeah, maybe Fable. Don't forget banning Quinn Combo. Is Quinn Combo even that much of a problem? I feel like it's not, no. This might be a bit too aggressive, but... Is there even a reason to ban anything other than the force we shake up the format? Yeah, I mean, it's just stale. Like, when's the last time you saw... I guess you could argue the tree deck, but the tree deck, let's be honest, the tree deck is just vampires with... Like, it's just vampires in disguise. It's just another vampires deck, you know? Like, it is different. I'm not going to say it's not, but I would just like to see... I don't know, I just like to see a bit of a shakeup. I just think the format's extremely stale right now. Yeah, the BTL Scape Shift combo deck. Is that deck actually good? It was fun to play when I played it, but I'm not sure it's actually that good. Yeah, Nykthos is very sacky too. I would not hate to see a I would not hate to see a... I think Leyline of the Guild Pact is kind of like the perfect ban. Alright, what are we doing here? So here... I would like to... I have 3 cards in hand. I gotta be a little bit careful. Let's get an island, because I already have white, red. So I don't mind getting an island here. And I think what I want to do is cast Phlage first. Yeah, the problem with that line, Kaboom, is what if they have 2 counter spells? So I'm trying to see if I can bait a counterspell with Phlage first. Okay. See, this is perfect, because now they have to counter the ice, and then they get destroyed by the endurance. Yep. See? I think I played that well. Because I knew I'm pretty sure they were going to counter the Phlage. So this is lethal, right? Oh yeah, because the trample, right? They just die. Cool. All right, 3-1. This is actually me in the high school yearbook. I was voted as most likely to be a toxic MTG streamer. Basic swamp. I think I'm getting the green-white Surveil land first. Graveyard. Presumably against basic Swamp, I don't need to, like, ice them off Counterspell. I just want to go... I want to go cycle for Triome. I want to go cycle for Triome and then get probably a basic with this. This Swamp Marsh Flats. Could be Mardu. Did we get a basic here? Well, basic island is bad if we find Phlage. But with 2 Dismembers, I don't really want to shock here. I'm just going to get island. Excuse me. So that can get planes later on. You don't understand the logic behind banning Prankster instead of Cruise? Well, I also agree with you. But the logic is that they've explicitly stated in past ban announcements that they do not want to ban Treasure Cruise. So because of that, I think that they are more likely to ban something like Prankster. I think Cruise should be banned. I don't really think that, like, their whole argument of we're going to try to, like, balance the format around Treasure Cruise, it's just not possible. Phoenix would be very good without Picklock, but Cruise would just be broken somewhere else. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, I think that Cruise is the correct ban, but I just don't think they're willing to pull the trigger on that. But I think they should. Like, it's just, it's the same problem every set of, like, when you have this card that's legal in the format, you have to be very cognizant of the surrounding cards. Like, you have to be very careful about 1-mana cards that you print, specifically blue 1-mana cards. So it, like, really does restrict the design space of what they're allowed to print into Standard/Pioneer. So it's that, and I don't know, it's just like, the card is inherently broken. Even without fetch lands, it's still just a messed up card. And I think that, you know, part of their philosophy behind keeping it around is like, well, you can't play Cruise in other formats, and they want people to relive, like, the whole concept and the whole goal of Pioneer in the first place was you get to counter this. You get to, like, relive the quote-unquote good old days of Standard. And you can't play Treasure Cruise anywhere else because it's banned in every format, but it's also banned in every format for a reason, you know? I don't think I want that. I do want that. Was Cruise ever banned in Standard? No. Cruise was not a problem in Standard, but that's because it's a lot harder for a format like Standard to have the high density of 1-mana spells to be able to make Cruise very good. People played Cruise in Standard, but, like, if you go back and look at the Treasure Cruise decks that were legal at that time, they were playing, like, they didn't have that many 1-mana cards. The best Cruise deck in Standard was... Oh, that's bad. Was the Jeskai Ascendancy Tokens deck, which, for to be fair, that deck was really good. They got Engineered Explosives. Okay, it's unfortunate. Chat, what the fuck are they playing? I think I'm gonna bind... Nah... It's like, do I want a Binding Garn for 4 damage? Playing Coffers with Free Strider Lookout, though? I guess. Is it worth casting Binding for 4 damage? Yeah, I don't think it is. So you, Karn. I mean, it would kind of make sense if Toxic 1990 was Spike's alternate account, right? He can be kind of toxic sometimes. I guess I could have Shardless attacked the Karn, then for 8, and then fired the Karn. I kind of want to cycle the ice, though. Was Spike born in 90? I think he's younger than I am, and I was born in 90, so I would assume no. We just want to find Phlage. Phlage me. Phlage my ass, please. So you're saying this is your alt account? No, you just have to match Toxic with more toxicity, which is something that I'm extremely good at. Sure. I'll cycle another one. Who's trying to match Doom's Freak? I don't think anybody in chat can. Ayo. Ayo. Why'd they float a black mana? Wait, did they tap the wrong land to float mana? Okay, Shardless Didge. Opponent's got 2 cards in hand. Hey. I guess I'll shock. Just to make them think a little bit, you know. Make them think I got something. I have 1 Footfalls left after this, right? Uno, dos, tres. Does this mean that I have to buy the special guest Footfalls in paper? How much are they, by the way? They do look nice. Alright. Fine. Have your fog. Oh, they're like $3. That's not bad. I have no more surveillance. Go. Yeah, the One Ring. Everybody boos. Chat, this is your opportunity to boo. Do I think Inverter could ever be unbanned in Pioneer? Kind of depends on their, like... So, there was a period of time in Pioneer where they were very, very adamant about removing combo decks from the format. And I think that, you know, as we've kind of gone a little bit deeper into the format's lifespan and more sets get printed, it's just, I don't know if it's just the competitive player mindset, but people are just, for some reason, they just tend to gravitate a lot more towards combo decks. And they've printed a lot more tools over the past couple of years to help combo decks. Like, Phoenix isn't really a combo deck, but like Amalia, Mono Green is definitely a combo deck. Vampires, pretty much a combo deck. So, I don't know, it feels like maybe that if they ever shift their philosophy on the format, I could certainly see it. Because, like, regardless of how many things they ban, people are always going to find the combo decks. Like, it's just, that's what's going to happen. A lot of people just gravitate towards those things. But, like, if they want to go back and, you know, if they want to have the same design philosophy, or not design, but the same ban list philosophy they had when they banned Inverter, Ballista, all that stuff, all the, you know, Oops All Spells combo decks, then, you know, maybe they should be addressing the current combo decks. It feels like with these ban lists, there's a lot of, like, I can't tell if maybe, like, going back on their word is a good way to put it, where they say one thing, but then they end up just changing what they're saying. Like, you could probably go back to the very, very first Pioneer ban list announcement. Now, granted, it was a brand new format, and they were experimenting a lot, and I get that it's a lot different, but... I'm doing this. Teferi's not good against them, is it? I don't think it is. Honestly, this might be a hot take, but the best time to play Pioneer was like the first 2 months, where there were ban announcements what felt like every single week. Give me back that Pioneer. I want that Pioneer. It was so good. It was so much better back then. Now, I understand that, you know, for a format's longevity, you can't really just be like, oh, well, we're going to have... That's a good one from the graveyard. We're going to just have ban announcements every single week, you know? Like, it gets to a certain point where you eventually have to be, okay, well, we're going to set the line here, and, nice deck, by the way. You know what I mean? So you can't necessarily have that till in perpetuity, but... I was going to say, they definitely have Urborg. They would not have kept the same without Urborg. Well, that's bad. Fuck me, I guess. I need to find a Force of Negation off this for their ring next turn. I don't think I need a third Shardless, right? Question is, do I cycle the Lórien? No, I think I saved the Lórien. What if we did? And just have a Pioneer ban announcement every single month? In this moment, better Modern or Pioneer meta? I don't know. I mean, it kind of... Ooh, that's a good draw. Kind of depends on... Well, they gave me Domain too. Kind of depends on what you like. I think both are fine. I think that both have their ups and downs. I'm having a lot more fun playing Modern right now, but I also think that part of that is because, you know, we basically just had a rotation, and Pioneer has not changed for quite some time. So, but personally, for me, I'm having more fun playing Modern as of right now. That could change. El Juan Ring, huh? You like Betrayal and the True Necro matchup? Get their shield rid, and there's not much they can do if they don't have the March or Push in hand. Are you worried about not hitting Footfalls on 3, though? I guess not, because in the scenario where you don't hit Footfalls, then your Shielder just KOs their Necro. Yeah, they didn't find a Soul Spike. That's nice. 4, 8, 9, 10. Honestly? No! Why did I play the island? Chad, I'm so dumb. If I had not played this island last turn, then I could have Phlaged. But I can't. So you could call this... You could say, oh, well, this is clearly an issue with the mana base. No, that one's on me. That's just me being stupid. Why island the deck? I mean, the card Blood Moon does exist. I thought my one subtlety is good. Actually, we have 2 subtleties up, so maybe it's good enough. Harbinger probably more prevalent than Blood Moon. Yeah, maybe. Okay, I don't care too much about that. I do care about this. There's nothing I can do about it. That sucks. Yeah, I would have won this game if I just wasn't a Munson. I was going to Phlage them. Okay, they're at 12. So, red, white, white. We need to get a red source. Probably Steam Vents. I don't need double green because I didn't board in the Endurance. So let's do this. Untap, hit for 5. They go to 7, Phlage them to 4. Oh, well. No! Oh, as soon as I clicked on it, I realized it. As soon as I clicked on it, I realized it. Oh, no. Look, okay, yes, the mana base is not perfect, but it's also... The streamer is also not perfect, alright? Mana base is certainly better than the streamer. You have to admit that. Hasty Agent. I'm just gonna hold up Subtlety. Good time for me to join? Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's a high ceiling mana base. It's a mana base that requires a lot of thought. More thought and effort than I'm willing to give, I guess. It's like one of the easiest things about Magic 2 is just sequencing your land drops, and somehow I did it wrong 3 turns in a row. Explain that. I mean, there's only one island. And again, it's not the island's fault, it's the streamer's fault. Yeah, more thought than I'm usually used to when I play Crashing Footfalls. My brain is not big enough to play Phlage Rhinos. I just got too excited about the arena. In all fairness, you rarely sequence your lands right when I stream. It's easier in some decks, but... Too much dip on ya chip. March of Wretched... That's a lot of stuff. Salsa? No. French Onion by far. French Onion, what's the brand? What's the popular chip dip brand? Hell of a Good? Yeah, Hell of a Good French Onion. Yeah, see, Jeed gets it. You get it. Hell of a Good French Onion is it's something else, man. It's so good. Okay, there it's 17. Quick math. 12, 15. Oh, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Would you look at that? I mean, I guess this is kind of bad if they have Soul Spike, but whatever. Soul Spike me, I don't care. They probably think I don't have the white source because I've just fucked up casting the Phlage every single turn, you know? They're like, there's no way he has the white source. He would have just done it last turn, obviously. Phlage Arena is so fucked up. This is the exact reason why you put Phlage in your deck, by the way, too. Doing it this turn is arguably better. Maybe, yeah. Maybe. Alright, so it turns out we might be back. Folks, if you're watching us on YouTube, deck's perfect. Maybe cut the Mystical Disputes. Don't know if there's anything else I'd really change. Dispute maybe for Subtlety, which we might try in a second leak here in just a moment. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you thought down below, and I'll see you all in the next one.